Yes guys, and welcome to another video, and in today's video we're going to be looking at Sunderland's new Premier League return home kit. And I can see already online that it's been a very mixed bag of opinions on this. It's been very divisive straight off the bat. It's a kit that was actually leaked over the last few days, but I didn't want to touch on it, and I knew that it was the one, but just in case there was a shred of change in the kit, I didn't really want to mention anything on the channel because I didn't want to sort of mislead you guys. However, it has just been revealed in the last sort of 20 odd minutes as I'm recording this, and I'm a big fan of it. I do feel like it's going to be one of those ones that on paper or some pictures, it isn't going to do it any justice. But before we do get into it, do us a favour, hit the like button on the video, and of course, subscribe if you are new. There's still so many of you guys that are regularly watching and aren't yet subscribed for up-to-date Sunderland updates and rambles and all that crap, all the stuff that I do. If you want to stick around for that, subscribe. That'd be very kind of you. But yeah, so the Sunderland kit has been revealed. The video of the kit, the reveal itself was actually really good. It was an elderly couple. It was sat down on a bench, and they were seeing people walk past with different older Sunderland shirts, retro Sunderland shirts, one of them being last season's kit as well. And then all of a sudden, the model that we've seen in one of the leaks, or one of the teaser pictures, should I say, he walks by in the new Sunderland shirt, and then they're questioning, oh, is that a knockoff? Have you got that off on your holidays type thing, and having a bit of a joke about it. And then it cuts into the video of him wearing it, the model. Isidore is there, Mayenda, Dhannoo, Lefay, they're all there. It's a really good video, and then right towards the end they suggest, or at least they say, oh, we haven't had a central badge since '99. And then Kevin Phillips, Super Kev, pops up from behind the bench and he says, yeah, I remember that one, which I just felt was a really good video. I mean, I could have just told you to watch the video yourself instead I've just described the whole thing. But yeah, I think it was a really nice touch, particularly with Super Kev being involved as well. Now, in terms of my first thoughts, do I think it's as nice as last season? No, I don't, but I do think the last season's kit would have been, it was such a high standing and such a high ceiling to hit, because I do think that last season's home kit was glorious. I know a lot of people, particularly fans who aren't Sunderland fans, or just people or fans looking from an outside perspective, it's just red and white stripes. But as Sunderland fans, we know the difference between kits, and last season's for me was as close to perfect as you could have got for the kind of Sunderland kit that I do personally like. This one, I know it is divisive because some people don't like the central badge. I actually really like it, and what I also like as well is that the elastic, the band on the sleeves and on the neck. I don't know why, but I feel that makes it look really smart. And I think it's I think it's going to be one of those ones where I feel like it's going to be so much nicer in person when you actually wear it on yourself. So I am a big fan of it. I will try and pull up a closer look of a picture. I don't think it's the best quality at the minute. They haven't put out many high quality pictures yet, but here is one of them anyway. Again, I know it's not the greatest quality, this one, so I do apologise, but as you can see, it is Lefay and Isidore wearing it, and I do think it looks so smart. Again, I think it's going to be one of those ones that is a lot better in person, but I think it does look so smart, particularly seeing that Premier League badge on the sleeve finally. That's so good to see. If we do, I can't really see it on these pictures, but if you do look closer, I think there are actually really fine, really thin sort of tram lines almost going down. Some people have said that the ladders going down, which I think is just another addition to it, so it isn't as bland as you might think on first glance. But for me, I'd probably give it a solid 8 out of 10. But I think in person, that could easily rise. Again, I keep repeating myself, but there's only so much you can say about a kit. I am a fan of it though, but I'd be very interested to see what you guys think in the comments down below. Now, I am going to add something to the end of this video, because it is only a short one. There has been another somewhat update in regards to Granit Xhaka. Now, I was going to make a separate video to this yesterday. However, again, it would have been 2 minutes long because we keep getting drip-fed little bits of information regarding the potential signing of Granit Xhaka. So, of course, when I made that video a couple of days ago with the big update that Granit Xhaka had made his intentions clear that he wants to leave Bayern Leverkusen and he wants to sign for Sunderland. Now, that was coming direct. After I'd only noticed this afterwards, that was actually coming direct from his agent. His agent was telling Sky Sports Germany that he does want to go to Sunderland. He wants to go back to the Premier League. That's where he's most comfortable. So that was coming from his agent. So his agent wouldn't lie. However, in doing that, it stirred the part at Bayer Leverkusen, as you'd expect. And of course, Erik ten Hag has came out and said, we've already lost too many of our most important players. We've already lost 3 key players If we lost any more, that would be going against the culture of the club and everything we stand for, blah, 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 blah. However, as of this morning, they were losing a goalkeeper to Leeds, according to Fabrizio. So you don't know. And I believe that their sporting director came out and said, not saying absolutely no to the Granit Xhaka deal, but he said something along the lines of, in a deal, all three parties have to be happy in going forward with the deal. At the moment, that isn't the case, which to me just screams, we want a bit more money. But then you've got Ten Hag, who's saying absolute no-go, he's never leaving type thing, but Granit's agent is saying that he wants Sunderland. So either way, the pot has been well and truly stirred over there at Leverkusen. And Ten Hag, there's going to be some kind of... there's definitely going to be sort of ripples in the waves there between the relationship between himself and the sporting director, because as I say, that comment, that quote from the sporting director, that just screams, show us more money and you can have him, whereas Ten Hag saying no. So there's going to be clashes of heads there, but that's not our problem. I don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? So at the minute on Twitter in particular, every post that the Leverkusen Twitter page are making are just getting riddled with hashtag free Xhaka and AI generated minions with some pretty harsh shit to say about Ten Hag, which I won't say on here because it'll get demonetised. But yeah, it's still very much up in the air. Now, for me, I think if they ask for too much, there's only so much time we can waste on this one. I do think there is a lot of money to put towards Granit Xhaka. I think the return will be so worth it personally. I've seen a handful of comments regarding Xhaka, and everyone is entitled to their own opinion, by the way, but there is a couple of comments I see every now and then. I do read the comments saying, Xhaka is way past it now, why are we getting someone like that again? And I can only reiterate that he's 32, and on paper you might say, he's past it, he's old, or he's a has-been, is what I've seen in the comments. But that could not be further from the truth. The lad has played, I think, the third most appearances out of the entire club over the last 2 seasons combined. And one of the seasons, he went unbeaten, which had never happened. Unbeaten, won the league, and then only lost 3 games last season. So if a captain, a leader in that side, who has lost 3 games over the course of 2 seasons, winning a championship, racking up just as many appearances as everyone else, if that is someone who is a has-been, then I'll take a has-been. Do you know what I mean? I think it's just ridiculous. I think that's someone just simply looking at the age and just knocking the whole thing away. But like I say, if I believe that the rumours, again, it is just rumours. The rumours are that we have offered around 10 million and then a big wage packet to Granit Xhaka, and I think they're looking for more than 20 odd million. Now, when you put it in perspective in that angle, is it worth it? I think my limit for Granit Xhaka would be anywhere between 15 to 20. I know it sounds a lot, again, for a 32-year-old, as we keep saying, but he has got so many more years in him, and his what he'll be bringing, it'd be absolutely crucial. It's something that isn't just out there to cherry pick. So when you've got an opportunity, and particularly if his agent is to be believed, if he does want to come to Sunderland, I would be throwing everything at it to try and get him over the line. Do you know what I mean? So it's very much up in the air. Again, I didn't want to just make another 3 or 4 minute video just giving you that tiny update. But anyway, I've combined it with the home kit reveal, so I will leave it there. Let me know what you guys think of the new home strip, and what do you guys make of the Granit Xhaka situation. Would you just say, right, okay, you're wasting too much time? I agree in that we shouldn't be putting too much time into it, whilst we might be going for other targets, which I don't think that the club are like that, to be fair. I don't think they're just going to stop absolutely everything else just for Granit Xhaka, but it is going to be very time consuming. So I think there has to be a point where we might just say, right, we're not going to get anywhere. But either way, Leverkusen are going to be left with a very unhappy Granit Xhaka because he's made it clear he wants to come to Sunderland. But either way, anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. Let me know what you think about everything. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. But for now, take care. How are the lads? Keep the faith.